The KeysDAN Show. It's the KeysDAN Show. I need a new theme for the KeysDAN Show. You might hear news. You might hear jokes. You never know what you're gonna get on the KeysDAN Show. Yeah. What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What Studios. And this is my podcast, The KeysDAN Show. If you want to tell your story, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag, What Makes You Famous. Now, on with the show. Today on the program, the meaning of Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th is considered an unlucky day in Western superstition. It occurs when the 13th day of the month in the Gregorian calendar falls on a Friday, which happens at least once every year, but can occur up to 3 times in the same year. For example, in 2015, the 13th fell on a Friday in February, March, and November. In 2016, Friday the 13th occurred in May. In 2017, it occurred twice, in January and October. In 2018, it also occurred twice, in April and July. There will be 2 Friday the 13ths in every year until 2020. The years 2021 and 2022 will have just 1 occurrence each. A Friday the 13th occurs during any month that begins on a Sunday. Here's the history of Friday the 13th. The irrational fear of the number 13 has been given a significant name, triskaidekaphobia, and on analogy to the fear of Friday the 13th, it is called, forgive me for the pronunciation, paraskavidiatriophobia. The Greek words paraskivi, meaning Friday, and dekatrios, meaning 13. The superstition surrounding this day may have arisen in the Middle Ages, originating from the story of Jesus' Last Supper and crucifixion, in which there were 13 individuals present in the upper room, and on the 13th of Nisan, Maundy Thursday, the night before his death on Good Friday, while there is evidence of both Friday and the number 13 being considered unlucky, there is no record of the 2 items being referred to as especially unlucky in conjunction before the 19th century. An early documented reference in English occurs in Henry Sutherland Edwards' 1869 biography of Gioacchino Rossini, who died on a Friday the 13th. An excerpt from the biography quotes, "He, Rossini, was surrounded to the last by admiring friends, and if it be true that, like so many Italians, he regarded Fridays as an unlucky day and 13 as an unlucky number, it is remarkable that on Friday the 13th of November he passed away." End quote. It is possible that the publication in 1907 of Thomas W. Lawson's popular novel Friday the 13th contributed to disseminating the superstition. In the novel, an unscrupulous broker takes advantage of the superstition to create a Wall Street panic on a Friday the 13th. A suggested origin of the superstition, Friday the 13th of October, 1307, the date Philip IV of France arrested hundreds of the Knights Templar, may not have been formulated until the 20th century. It is mentioned in the 1955 Maurice Drouin historical novel, The Iron King, Le Roi de Fer, John J. Robinson's 1989 work Born in Blood, The Lost Secrets of Freemasonry, Dan Brown's 2003 novel, The Da Vinci Code, and Steve Barry's The Templar Legacy, 2006. Here are some other notable references. Tuesday the 13th in Hispanic and Greek culture. In Spanish-speaking countries, instead of Friday, Tuesday, the 13th, martes 13, is considered a day of bad luck. The Greeks also consider Tuesday, and especially the 13th, an unlucky day. Tuesday is considered dominated by the influence of Ares, the god of war, Mars in Roman mythology. The fall of Constantinople to the Fourth Crusade occurred on Tuesday, April 13th, 1204, and the fall of Constantinople to the Ottomans happened on Tuesday, the 29th of May, 1453. Events that strengthen the superstition about Tuesday. In addition, in Greek, the name of the day is Triti, meaning the third day of the week, adding some weight to the superstition, since bad luck is said to, quote, come in threes. Tuesday the 13th occurs in a month that begins on a Thursday. In Italy, Friday the 17th. In Italian popular culture, Friday the 17th, and not the 13th, is considered a day of bad luck. The origin of this belief could be traced in the writing of number 17 in Roman numerals XVII. By shuffling the digits of the number, one can easily get the word VIXI, I have lived, implying death in the present, an omen of bad luck. In fact, in Italy, 13 is generally considered a lucky number. However, due to Americanization, young people consider Friday the 13th unlucky as well. The 2000 parody film Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th was released in Italy with the title Shriek Hi Impegni per Venerdì 17. Shriek, do you have something to do on Friday the 17th? Friday the 17th occurs on a month starting on a Wednesday. Social impact of Friday the 13th. According to the Stress Management Center and Phobia Institute in Asheville, North Carolina, an estimated 17 to 21 million people in the United States are affected by a fear of this day, making it the most feared day and date in history. Some people are so paralyzed by fear that they avoid their normal routines in doing business, taking flights, or even getting out of bed. Quote, it has been estimated that $800 or $900 million is lost in business on this day, end quote. Despite this, representatives for both Delta Airlines and Continental Airlines, the latter now merged into United Airlines, have stated that their airlines do not suffer from any noticeable drop in travel on those Fridays. In Finland, a consortium of governmental and non-governmental organizations led by the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health promotes the National Accident Day to raise awareness about automotive safety, which always falls on a Friday the 13th. The event is coordinated by the Finnish Red Cross and has been held since 1995. Rate of accidents on Friday the 13th. A study in the British Medical Journal published in 1993 attracted some attention from popular science literature as it concluded that, quote, the risk of hospital admission as a result of a transport accident may be increased by as much as 52% on the 13th, end quote. However, the authors clearly state that, quote, the numbers of admissions from accidents are too small to allow meaningful analysis, end quote. Subsequent studies have disproved any correlation between Friday the 13th and the rate of accidents. On the contrary, the Dutch Center for Insurance Statistics on the 12th of June, 2008, stated that, quote, fewer accidents and reports of fire and theft occur when the 13th of the month falls on a Friday than on other Fridays because people are preventatively more careful or just stay home. Statistically speaking, driving is slightly safer on Friday the 13th, at least in the Netherlands. In the last 2 years, Dutch insurers received reports of an average 7,800 traffic accidents each Friday, but the average figure when the 13th fell on a Friday was just 7,500. The longest period that occurs without a Friday the 13th is 14 months, either from July to September the following year being a common year starting on Tuesday, or from August to October the following year being a leap year starting on a Saturday. The shortest period that occurs with a Friday the 13th is just 1 month, from February to March in a common year starting on Thursday. Each Gregorian 400-year cycle contains 146,097 days with 97 leap days, or exactly 20,871 weeks. Therefore, each cycle contains the same pattern of days of the week, and thus the same pattern of Fridays that are on the 13th. The 13th day of the month is slightly more likely to be a Friday than any other day of the week. On average, there is a Friday the 13th once every 212.35 days, whereas Thursday the 13th occurs only once every 213.59 days. Do you have a fear of Friday the 13th? I really want to know. Drop me a line, info@radiowhat.com. This has been the KeysDAN Show podcast. If you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you, check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. This has been KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.